when we take an IELTS test, an IELTS listening test, yeah, we can do a lot to try to make our score better, yeah. And we can divide these tips or these strategies into two different sections. Okay? The first section is what we can do before listening. Yeah? So we listen during the test, but we also have quite a lot of time before we listen when we can just look at the questions. Yeah? So what should we do before we listen when we're just looking at the questions? What are some things we should do? Good, okay, so we should look at the keywords in the questions, yeah? But even before we do that, probably the first thing to do is to have a look at the question. Say, for example, this is a section 1, okay? And we can see that we need to fill in some information in this form.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If we look at the vocabulary in this form, we can see, okay, apartment 1, apartment 2, rent, bedroom, reference letter, deposit. What situation do you think this will be? Getting information? Yeah, about what?
Renting a house.
Maybe renting a house, that's right. So even before we listen, we try to guess the context or guess the situation. Okay?
Yeah.
What are the people going to be talking about? And maybe a man is calling a real estate and he's asking about apartments. Something like this. Is that okay?
Yes.
The next big thing we can do is, and this is very, very important, okay, is prediction, guessing the answers to the questions. Okay? So if we, as Akari said before, underline the keywords, okay, in the questions, it can help us to try to guess the answers to the questions. And we can do 3 different kinds of predicting. The first kind is we can predict for the type of word. Okay? So if the key word says place or time or phone number, we know we're listening for a place name or a time or a date or a phone number. Is that okay? Second thing, and especially in the later sections of the listening test when you have summary completion or note completion, we can listen for word class. Are we listening for a verb, a noun, or an adjective or an adverb, etc.? Okay? And finally, we can listen for possible answers. Okay, possible answers. And what we should be doing before we listen is trying to guess what those possible answers might be. So if the question says, type of accommodation, in your head you should be thinking before you listen, okay, what are the different types of accommodation? Getting your mind ready to receive the information. So you could be thinking, okay, could it be hotel, flat, house, youth hostel, it could be a bed sit, a village, okay. That's kind of maybe not a type of accommodation, but it is a place type, isn't it? Yeah, so village, town, city, or whatever. So it's very important to be thinking about the vocabulary you might hear, because then your mind will be more ready to receive the listening information. Is that okay?